Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first ever podcast. In this podcast, we will discuss many facets of the SMO community, particularly its drama. I'm joined by my good friend D_00R. How are you doing?
Hello, I am D_00R. I am doing well. How are you, Rockin, Jack?
I'm actually doing just great myself. I hope that every single viewer here is having a great New Year's Eve as we discuss this facet of the SMO community. So SMO stands for Super Mario Odyssey. So today we're going to talk about this guy named JoniKauf. Now, JoniKauf is actually known for being a trick jumper, specifically a two-player trick jumper. He kind of revolutionized two-player trick jumps by proving jumps that were previously thought to be impossible. And today he got in a little, the other day, I think yesterday I believe, he got in a little bit of heat. Um, Although he did delete the messages, we still have screenshots of them, and yeah. So now, as you can see, 17 hours ago, his tweet said, "Yo, my guys, can you do me a favor and follow my awesome girly Shiba SMO? She's getting into trick jumping, and I'd really like to see her being supported." But this could not. The following could not be foreseen. What would happen next? Straight after, he tweeted this:
Yeah.
"My trick jumping friends, please spread this. In this thread, I will show you how biased, unprofessional, and badly the organization of elite server interpreters in the choosing of their jumps is. We also got some leaks, so stay tuned." And then he put a little bit of smiley face. And then he said, "Oh, and don't be 190 IQ and say he is." And then that's the end of the first tweet. Now, so far, what do you think of this, Thor?
Well, I mean, it definitely raises a lot of questions because, the mods of the Trick Jump community are held with quite high regard, and so to question this is, there's a lot of discourse here, which I didn't really imagine from this part of the community, but we'll see.
Yeah. So let's just read the second tweet now. Now, I believe that the second part is just a continuation of the quote that's in the first tweet. So it says, "He is just mad because his jumps didn't get added." And then, so first, let's address how biased the whole adding of jumps is. I asked Mac Panda about this, and he told me this: pick one out of two. Since one is a jump being too hard or reasoning. Also, this is not just him saying this, but I also got told. And then that's the end of the second tweet. Now, um, sadly, I lost the DMs that he had with Mac, but I believe that he was talking about how the jumps were being added by jump interpreters and Awesome Agron, who, as you know, is a former darker side runner and became a trick jump mod. So basically, Mac Panda is basically talking about how Awesome Agron is only putting in jumps that he has done, and he removed a bunch of jumps that were also there. And what do you think of that? I personally think that that's kind of deplorable of him to do.
I definitely think that's a big, bold claim, and I mean, if it's true, if these DMs are in fact can be backed with other things, I think that is absolutely horrible for someone of such high regard to do, and I really, really do not condone it in any sense.
Yes,
And yeah.
I 100% agree with what you're talking about. Now it continues. So, as you can see, he does not put any indication that this is a continuation, but this is not just him saying that, but I also got told that some jumps are too hard, in quotation marks, to be added. So basically, the jumps that will get added are filtered by the too hard filter and by the does Agron have it filter. And to top it off, they add their own jumps and upvote them, and which then they then reply to then, "Joni, why are you even complaining? We are also adding your jumps, some jumps of you." I think you now see the problem. Well, do you see the problem? I think I'm kind of seeing the problem here.
I clearly see the problem. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
like that
problem is
is
getting more and more
that's
clear.
horrible to do. Like you're gaining this really really perfect system which they have set up in which you can add jumps and then but like the mods, if the mods are biased, like this is such a big problem because they could just add whatever they want and it doesn't matter and it's really horrible.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. Even if you don't see the problem with some jumps not getting added, You still have the problem of people, I won't call anybody out, thank goodness, just adding their jumps to the list and voting for it themselves, and some even go to DMs. No proof for this one, so take it with care, just my own experience. To ask others to vote for their jumps, which is super not okay and super biased. You know what? Yes, I actually do agree with that. That is quite biased to ask others to vote for their jumps, even if their jumps
It's not
might not be
okay.
good. It is not okay, and it should not be done. The next thing that bothers me is how they're making fun of Mac and not listening to them in the interpreter sheet or VC, even though he is calling them out for being too biased. Pick one. Notes under the jumps that just got added in the official spreadsheet. Jumps themselves are blurred, but why I could leak them. Smile. So you can see that there's a lot of very mean things being said to Mac.
Vulgar language.
Vulgar language, and that should absolutely be condemned by the rest of the trick jump community. Now, sadly, these are where the tweets of JoniKauf end, but I'll just quickly share my screen with you so you can see the fallout that's really come from this. So he had an addition. He said he just sent a DM with Mac that said, I have something to add. If people think I'm being biased, I spend multiple days doing every single jump on the sheet, minus Toxic Tumble, which was way too hard for me. Which I completely understand. Toxic Tumble is a very hard jump, so I can understand why.
I mean, I've put in like a few attempts. I haven't gone that close, but yeah, Toxic Tumble is he's clearly a very skilled trick jumper.
And you can see his dedication to doing the jumps because he's spent multiple days doing every jump on the sheet. All right, now let's see if there's any fallout here. Okay, all right, that's no fallout here. But after retweeting a BAM tweet, he posted an update thread in the morning today. He said, "Oh God, this is a lot to take in. So I got a huge amount of backlash and don't know what to think now. I deleted the main post because it doesn't get spread anymore if it's wrong, but the replies of the people are still available by going into their accounts and replies. Many jump." And that's the end of the first tweet. Now, so far, what do you think of this?
I mean, it says a lot about him taking down the tweet, but I could understand it if it's just because of backlash, but maybe there's an ulterior motive. We'll see.
Yes, I feel like that he kind of... That just shows that there's a chance that what he's saying could be wrong, maybe. I obviously don't want to discredit JoniKauf in any way, but I really hope that it's not wrong, but I don't know. Okay. Many jump interpreters were giving me a lot of points to disprove the ones I made. A few people which weren't jump interpreters were on my side. We'll read through basically all of the replies, and I think I was off over-dramatic through some points. The most important is that I only took Mac's word and a few other small ones as evidence, which had the reason that it was late and it made me angry because I'm a bit stubborn, so I made this tweet. So, as you can see some, that there could be some biases, which is the result of only talking to a few people. Because he only talked to Mac and just a few other interpreters, so there's not really that many other differing perspectives. What do you think of this?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely quite a blunder on his part because that's, obviously something, when you're creating a case, you want to get as many pieces of evidence to make things as convincing as possible, but he seems to be quite motivated by just the outrageous situation, which is understandable, but I think he definitely should have taken more time to gather more evidence.
Absolutely. I'm very sorry to the jump interpreters and moderators of the Elite server. Points which I still don't make sense are why many, including Agron, didn't have access to the spreadsheet, and why every time anybody wants some explanation there is no way to go to, or people are just joking, and why Mac and others got so often ignored. This one could be biased. I feel like it could be biased because I feel like Mac is the only person he did research to talk to.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Let's move on. These are just questions which aren't meant harmfully. I think this happened because there's barely any way to get information on how jumps got added, so I relied on Mac, which is a good friend, not taking this as an excuse. I made this mistake and I agreed with it. But how Poppy also said there's barely a way to get information about the choosing of jumps, etc. So yeah, I'm sorry for the inconvenience to the whole team and I apologize, and I'd be happy to see the connection between interpreters and Trickjumpers getting better. Joni did an oopsie, and then my favorite emoji of colon slash.
Yeah.
And then in another tweet, he said, at Awesome Agron, sorry again, colon slash. So,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I think Johnny definitely is being the better man in this situation, and taking responsibility for a situation which he kind of acted out of rage for, but in the end, I mean, I think I can forgive him.
Yes, I believe that he made an honest mistake in inciting some unnecessary drama in the Trick Jump community. And you can see that a lot of people in the community have forgiven Joni. Thanks a lot for this. You've made an honest mistake and made up for it, says Kern. We all make mistakes in the heat of passion, Jimbo, says Toby Tech. Was ish gongen, wens nimo osbroten wilsh, non scheibs mo per diem. And that's what Guy Shinfish does, so thank you, Joni. Greatly appreciate it. You can see that there's a lot of positive feedback towards this follow-up post. As you can see, Joni is taking responsibility for his own actions, and I highly commend him for that. And that is an excellent conclusion to this Trick Jump scuffle. Now, what are your final thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, I think it's clear. I don't think he's gonna face any major backlash. I think it was just an honest mistake, and I think he owned up to it well. And yeah, I'm very proud of Johnny for this.
Yes, I'm very proud of Joni. Once again, thank you for watching the Rockin' Door podcast. We'll make sure to upload every year. And yeah, I'll see you next time.